Macmillan Audio presents Post-grad by Emily Cassel. Read for you by Ilyana Kadushin. Chapter 1. Okay. Next question. Would you rather be a mongoose or a platypus? Adam Davies, my tall, green-eyed, only slightly goofy best friend in the world, gazed up at me intently from my dorm room floor, as if my answer to this question were a matter of earth-shattering importance. I took a sip of the beer that I'd gotten from the keg down the hall and pretended to mull it over. A mongoose, well, that's a bit weaselly for me. A bit too much on the rodent side of things. But honestly, what is a platypus anyway? It has a bill, it lays eggs, but apparently it's a mammal. I mean, how does that work? What does it do with its life? I'm not really sure. Adam rolled over so that he was peering under my bed. God, he said, have you ever heard of a broom? You've got dust balls the size of cats under here. I threw a pillow at him and it landed on his broad chest. Hey, I'll be out of here any day now, I said. I'm done with cleaning. I leave that to the paid employees of Clarendon University. He picked the pillow up and tossed it back, but missed me. He threw worse than a girl. He always had. So a mongoose, then? He asked. You'd be a mongoose. You'd have to fight snakes. That's what mongooses do. Or is it mongoose? We'd been playing the Which Would You Rather Be game for 15 years. Ever since we were 7 years old and swinging next to each other in Jackson Park in Glendale, California, while our babysitters gossiped on the nearby benches, drinking Cokes and eating M&Ms, which they wouldn't share with us because they claimed the sugar made us crazy, which it did. You'd think we'd be bored with it, and maybe we were, but it was so familiar that we couldn't help it. It was something to say when there was nothing else to talk about, for one. Something to calm our nerves before an exam or a blind date, things like that. We just fell into it. Lately, our game seemed to focus not on the animals themselves so much as on what they did. For instance, you wouldn't want to be a dog because you'd have to do what people told you all day long. You wouldn't want to be an ox either because those yoke things looked really heavy. And you wouldn't want to be a monkey because you'd have to pick bugs out of your friend's hair all the time. And then you'd probably have to eat the bugs so as not to seem rude. This focus on the animals' activities was because we were seniors in college, and graduation was less than 18 hours away, and we had our whole lives in front of us. We could be anything. That's what we told ourselves anyway. We could be mules, forced by other people to do what they told us, or we could be tigers. Needless to say, the latter sounded much better. Of course, right now I'd have to pick platypus since that was the question, and because I'm not afraid of being weird. I mean, just look at my family. They make an egg-laying mammal that looks like a duck seem completely normal. But I'll get to them in a minute. Adam frowned at me playfully. You still haven't answered. Well, you got all distracted by the dust cats. Which do you think I'd be? I said. Platypus, of course, he answered instantly, leaning back and propping his feet up on my hamper, which unsurprisingly was overflowing with laundry. See? He knew me. Unlike the other 472 friends I have or that Facebook says I have. The truth was that hardly any of those people meant anything to me. But I wasn't going to delete them from my friend list. I liked seeing their little profile pictures on my homepage, and I enjoyed procrastinating on my English papers by reading their status updates. Sarah Adams is walking on sunshine. Brad Atkins is super stoked about his new wheels. Except for one, Jessica Bard. I had to admit, I didn't like seeing her on my Facebook page. You know Jessica's type. Pretty, smart, super motivated. Like she'd stay up all night to study for a test and still show up to class freshly showered, her makeup perfect, with a plate of homemade muffins for the teacher. Barf. Of course she was valedictorian, and her status updates were the worst. Jessica Bard got an egg.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?